going on, guys? It's the November 12th edition of the MMA Junkie Twitter Mailbag, the No Shave November 12th edition. I apologize for all of you that are going to have to follow along this journey of ugliness for the next couple of weeks for these mailbags. I know it's ugly, and I apologize, but I'm already involved in it. There's no going back now, so I do not envy you guys for having to stare at this. Anyways, you guys sent in a bunch of questions this week. I really appreciate the response. Let's just jump right into it with Sam Coakley BJJ, who asks, who should Leon face instead of Masvidal, or is he worthy enough to just wait for a title shot? I mean, in my head, he's more than worthy enough for a title shot. He's done everything the UFC's asked him to do and more. You know, he took the fight against Hamza. That got rebooked. It got pushed. He took the fight against Bilal. He took the fight against Nate Diaz, which didn't make any sense. Then he was going to take the fight against Jorge. And I mean, a lot of that's kind of a stalling, right? It's to try to keep him active while the champion has other fights that he needs to take, like Colby Covington, like Gilbert Burns. Okay, fair, whatever. But now that the champion, Usman, he's beaten those people, he's waiting for the next challenger, and there's nobody that's a clear-cut contender or somebody that's more qualified than Leon Edwards. That's the fight to book. I know the UFC, may not have thought that he had done enough to get that title shot without fighting Masvidal at that time, but now as it stands, there is no reason for them not to book that fight, the rematch, Kamaru Usman versus Leon Edwards. Now, we know that sometimes the UFC doesn't necessarily operate that way, so if for whatever reason Leon Edwards does have to fight one more time, I mean, Vicente Luque is the guy to fight. That is a clear-cut number one contender fight. Vicente Luque weighed in at the UFC 268 weigh-ins as a backup fighter. He did miss weight, but it sounds like if you listen to John Morgan's MMA Roadshow podcast, as I do, John kind of explained it a little bit, that it was short notice, and that it seemed like there was maybe some confusion from the commission about the amount of time that Luque would have, the extended window. So I'm not making excuses for the guy. I wasn't there, but it seems like something maybe in the UFC's eyes that they would give him a little bit of a pass on. So I say Leon Edwards versus Kamaru Usman should be next. If not, Leon Edwards versus Vicente Luque should be the fight. All right, our next question here comes from Trace Camus. Your most confident Bellator pick not named Cyborg. For me, I'm going to have to go with Roman Faraldo. Cyborg's obviously the easy choice there. I think she'll get it done within the first two rounds against Sinead Kavanagh. No offense to Kavanagh. But Roman Faraldo taking on Robert Turnquist. Faraldo's won both of his Bellator fights by knockout, including a massive flying knee in his debut. Meanwhile, Robert Turnquist is a little older, seasoned veteran, but it just seems to me like this is a bit of a setup fight, especially looking at it on paper. I mean, the age, the record, everything about it. So Roman Faraldo, if you haven't seen him, look up his highlight reel. Another guy, Mahmoud Sabi. He's a former Egyptian Olympian. I wrote a story on him earlier this year when he was making his MMA debut. Bit of a wild guy. Go up on his Instagram, check out some of the videos he has. It's crazy, some of the workout stuff that he does. He's 2-0 in MMA. He's got a bare knuckle MMA fight in there as well. So keep an eye on him. Those would be my two. Last question comes from Cody Ryan, who pitched me on a matchup. He asked Nate Diaz versus Bobby Green. Would that actually make sense? Could it actually make sense? And to me, I think it would make sense in the true merit-based, if you took that approach to matchmaking, but in the UFC, dollars and cents are really the only sense that makes sense, if that makes sense. Bobby Green versus Nate Diaz would have all sorts of, hand gestures and all sorts of, from the outside, we'd have to do some lip reading. I'm sure some words would be easier to decipher than others. I think it would be a great fight. It would be fun. They're both veterans. You could put them in, you could put Nate Diaz against anyone and people would tune in. But when you have a matchup like the Conor McGregor fight, which not only makes sense, in my opinion, in the draw that it brings, but also because of the dollars and cents that it makes, in the merit-based sense that it makes, that's the fight to make. At this point in time, I wouldn't like to see anything else from either guy. I think that we're going to lose this fight if we keep keeping it in our back pocket. So now's the time. All respect to Bobby Green, but I think the UFC should go with Conor versus Nate. And I think it makes a lot more sense for them too. But I appreciate everyone that sent in questions this week. This is as fun as always. Tonight, Bellator 271, we'll have Danny Segura on the ground in Hollywood, Florida. And then tomorrow, we'll have Ken Hathaway and John Morgan out in Las Vegas, the Vegas duo, the tag team that always brings you the best coverage on Saturday nights. So keep it locked to MMA Junkie and enjoy the fights, guys.